do a selfie for the icon for the little thumbnail, and I might have realised my hair's all flat and weird. It's still wet, and I looked really peculiar. I looked like Johnny Depp in what's it called? Demon Barber Fleet Street, Sweeney Todd. So basically, I was like, what the hell is happening with my hair? So, yeah. It's another week. I don't know what really to do with this week. I've already driven away the one person that has just come to see me. I've got this blanket. It's very cold in this. It's cold. It's been a cold week. Now, I don't know what to say about this week, really. It's, do you like I look like the Last of England. That's a painting from the pre-Raphaelite times. Yes. So, nobody here, but I'll carry on talking anyway, because I must. Because of the wonderful things. I don't know. How can you talk about this week without being controversial? Very difficult, really. So I'm going to speak in generalities and just talk to you about nice stuff and just pretend that none of the stuff that is going down this week is happening. Let's just pretend that it's all amazing and that life is great and nothing bad is happening and that people haven't gone absolutely, because they have gone absolutely. It's just, what is happening? Don't know, bit confusing everywhere, really. Anyway, I was back at work and that was interesting, and it's very cold. You have to have the windows open. People keep closing the windows. It's like, keep the windows open. It's like, no, it's so cold. I know you're freezing. Keep the windows open, please. Keep the windows open. So that's definitely a thing to do. But I've got my lovely blanket and two people here now. Two lovely people here. So nice to see you. Lovely. I don't know who you are, but I'm sure you're here, and that's good. Look at this. I was going to buy a wrist thingy to monitor my heart and my steps and stuff. 669 steps, that's not right. I only just put it on. That's definitely overestimated that. I've only just put it on. So yeah, so I've got that. I borrowed it. It's not mine. My watch broke. I don't know why. I think it's the battery. And I've been using, to do my step monitoring, my phone, which I'm using as a camera now. But the trouble is it's big. So I have to put it in my pocket and make sure it doesn't fall out of my pocket onto the floor. And it's quite so bulky that it's really not practical to be using my phone. Yes, so how have you been, everybody? Have you had a nice week? Some people have had a nice week, and some people have had an absolutely, it's fallen off, absolutely terrible week. And it's been mostly a terrible week, I'd say, for most people, but no, it's upside down. This is upside down. It's just put it the right way around. And yeah, it's been an interesting week. Let's put it that way. Interesting. It's been like, yeah, Wednesday, I messaged my mum and she said about something, like get some groceries or something. Sorry, my hair's gone on my mouth here. That's the trouble with wet hair. And long hair as well. And she was like, did you see what's happened? And I'm like, what? It's like, what? And then as the week's gone by, it's been like, what? Hello, Tina. The week has been just gone from one thing to, it's just like, I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just like, is this real? What? What? I'm doing fine, thank you, Mark. Doing fine. I'm doing remarkably well, really, considering. I mean, everyone else seems to be having a terrible time. My time is, I had a headache for the entirety of the week, except for today. I wasn't really doing for today. I had a lovely bath, salty bath. Thank you. But I have awesome that I've had a headache. Yeah, no, not awesome that I've had a headache. Awesome that I haven't got a headache today. But tomorrow is another day, as the heroine of Gone with the Wind. Tomorrow is another day, as she's eating a radish and yeah. Anyway, that's a interesting film, isn't it? Really not the sort of film that gives a good message. She's a terrible person. Have you seen Gone with the Wind? Yeah, Scarlett O'Hara is absolutely abysmal person. She's terrible in every single way, but she survives. Southern Belle surviving. Maybe she shouldn't, but she did, and she's probably still alive today. Zombie Scarlett O'Hara eating her radishes and being tear down those curtains and make me a dress, she's going. Like this. She's torn down this blanket and I've made her a dress. There it is. Scarlett, do you like your dress? It's made out of a blanket. We didn't have any curtains left. We'd torn them all down. Burning of Atlanta, and we tore down the curtains and we made a dress out of a blanket. Oh, that's really weird. I look like, there's a there's a thing about the end of the world, a sketch from I don't know what is it. It's Monty Python and a few other people where they're all sitting on the top of a mountain waiting for the end of the world. I think Monty Python and Marty Feldman and Eleanor Braun in it. It's like, oh, it's the end of the world. That's what I look like then. It is the end of the world. It probably is. Don't want to call it too prematurely, but it's looking possible. Let's hope not. Let's hope that everything's going to be amazing and it's all going to pick up and we're going to have fun and laughter and music and joy and everything will be great. Yay! This keeps coming off. I'm not sure how practical this is when I'm running around every day and like making crafts. It's going to keep coming off and I'm going to get covered in paint and crafts, and so 745 steps. That means I've done 100 steps just standing here and moving my arm around. I'm not sure this is very accurate, really. I'm like, what? This doing this? I'm going to... Yes, I suppose that is exercise. Does that count as steps? And that's, 774. Not that many steps. Yes, so not... No. So, it really... I mean, my phone is usually around about my thigh area, and that probably gives more of an accurate depiction of how many steps I'm doing because my legs are moving about. But when I'm just gesticulating wildly, it's like I didn't do that many steps, and then it falls off, and then it goes on the floor, and I have to take it up again, and then the steps are all... So I'm not sure how practical these watchy things are. But I didn't pay for it because it's somebody else's, so I suppose I can't be... 824 steps I've done now. Not accurate at all. So how is everybody? Have you had a nice time, people that are here? 4 of you. Have you done nice things? Have you seen any nice things? I've been watching things. I've been watching the new series of Stage. That's good. With Michael Sheen and David Tennant and lots of people. A Fitbit. It's not really a Fitbit. It's like a knockoff Fitbit. I think it's called a Cowmo. No, a cow. I don't know what it's called. Something beginning with a K. It's not a real brand. I think it's a made-up brand. Cowmo. I don't know what it is, but it's not real. Hello, spinach. Yes. So I'm gonna. Can't see me with that. Yes. So I'm gonna snuggle up here. Now it's not dusty now because I very, very sensibly cleaned the stairs so that I wouldn't be all covered in dust next time I came and sat on the stairs. So there's still dust, but there's not as much dust. So there's not as much, but I'm looking here from the other way. Look, I realised that I haven't dusted that bit, so there is still dust. So I didn't do a very good job, but I did do the stair carpet, which I'm sitting on. So even though I can see dust, I'm not right next to the dust. But now I'm looking at the dust and going, oh no, I should dust. Dust. Everywhere dust. It all comes to dust. It's the futility of life, because we all turn to dust in the end before anything's happened to us, really, because we just, especially if you're in the same house or building for any length of time, there's not really good ventilation, then most of you will end up as dust before very long. So you can see where you've been, like all the dust. That's me, that is. Yay, dust. Yes, it's a horrible thing, dust, isn't it? Horrible, horrible thing. So I've driven somebody away talking about dust. There was 5 and there's only 4 of you. But a loyal 4, a good 4, the 4 best. The best 4 there is to be had. So this is not a Fitbit. It's a knockoff. It's very much like I had a one of those. What's those little cameras that you can put underwater? Dust in the wind. Exactly. We're like dust in the wind, Mark. You're right. You're very poetic. Yes. A little camera that entropy. Yes. Household dust is. It's not masonry debris though. It's what skins. fabric fibres. It's not that much fabric fibres. I'm not sure about that. How much masonry dust can you really make it? It's not like there's building work being done. I think that's okay, Mark. I think it depends how flaky you are, and I think maybe a lot of dust is coming off me. It's like dust. Yes, I don't have dandruff. I used to, but I've been using. For a while I was doing the no shampoo method, where I just wash my hair with water. I would wash it. I wouldn't not wash it, and that was good. But then it was getting a little bit. Yeah, so I'm using baby shampoo now. So I use some baby shampoo now, which does make your hair fly away, but doesn't give you dandruff, which is good. So that's the reason I stopped using regular, normal, grown-up shampoos, because I tried every single sort. So that, when I was, maybe this is dandruff from like 5 or 6 years ago when I was still using normal shampoos. It's not dandruff. I'm not sure what it is. It's like, it's just, wasn't doing very. What a lovely subject to be talking to. Talking about. I can see why I'm not getting any likes, really. I'm sort of steering away from the popular subject and onto why are you talking about that? Like, somebody in my friends list was talking about eating mealworms earlier on, and I was just about to say, oh, I've eaten them. They're really nice. Yeah, it's not popular, especially when you're trying to be sort of vegetarian and vegan. But I'm not eating eels. I'm not eating mealworms now, but I have in the past eaten them. And you can get them and you feed them for birds, and it says not for human consumption. And you go, oh, but they look so delicious. They don't look delicious. They look awful. They're wormy. They're just like, they're not wriggling. They're not like wriggly worms. They're just like sort of husks, like the bottom of a popcorn. Like when you've popped the popcorn and you just get the little husky bits. That's what mealworms look like. Delicious. So, but they don't taste as bad as you would think, really, and they're quite crunchy. And really, there's some quite horrible crisps that are about equivalent of mealworms. It's not really selling it. Yeah, we should eat more mealworms. It's environmentally friendly, especially if you're a bird. But you can get all sorts of flavours, like popcorn flavour. Beetle larvae, yes, they are sort of beetle larvae, aren't they? Yeah. They're beetles before they've turned into beetles. Like, don't eat Paul McCartney before he's turned into Paul McCartney. Don't do that. No. Yeah. So, there was, I've said this before, I'm doing a science fair in the Excel Centre, which is now not the Excel Centre because they turned it into the Nightingale Hospital, which they're not using. But it used to be yes, exactly. Yoko, do you mean? Yeah, that's what I was like. Yoko, yeah, that's exactly right. But when it was still, I don't even know what it is now. When it was an exhibition centre, not that long ago, they had the science fair, the national, I don't know what it called. It was a big science sort of thing, and they had Rent-A-Kill had all the insects, and they were giving the insects away at their stand, going, here's all edible insects, eat the insects. And I was thinking, Rent-A-Kill are well known for like gassing and killing their insects and making the insects like poisoned. So probably not. It's not really a good selling point to go, hello, eat these insects. If you're a specialist firm that this whole raison d'etre is to kill the insects horribly. And then I was thinking, are they saying that these insects are the insects they killed? I don't think it is. I think it was just a sort of, aha, what a novelty. Try these insects. Oh, we've got a cake with insects on it. I didn't eat the cake, but it was like, look, we've got gatto that's got mealyworms and ants and things on it, and scorpions. I don't think they had scorpions, but I have eaten scorpions. As a completely different thing when I was a journalist, and I've said this before again, we got invited to watch the DVD release of The Scorpion King, and they'd hired out the British Museum in London in the Egyptian Hall, and they were showing us The Scorpion King on a TV surrounded by like Egyptian artifacts, and then they gave us an interesting sort of goodie bag, which was a cobra curry. I mean, we read it and we thought we were going to get cobra beer. Well, no, we got Cobra curry, which was a sort of ready meal, sort of foil container that we had to take home to eat. That was curry that was made out of a cobra, literally, and a chocolate scorpion because it was a Scorpion King. I think there was something else as well. But we were expecting like nice snacks and stuff to watch this DVD, and we got this thing. It was like, but somebody dared me to eat the chocolate scorpion. I was like, all right then, and I did, and I think we might have had some wine as well, which made me more likely to eat it. And everyone's like, and I was like, yeah, and that was like the bottom of that was like the bottom of popcorn as well, sort of brittle and pointless, didn't taste of anything, but it did have the most vile chocolate that tasted really, it was like milk chocolate. I'm not a milk chocolate fan. So really the Scorpion was better than the chocolate, which was cheap and horrible. And I've seen these on sale. They're quite expensive to buy. And I don't know why, because it's clearly they've just killed an insect and put it in the cheapest available chocolate and then charge you 20 quid for it. It's like, great. Anyway, insects eating. Why did I get onto this? Oh, I don't know. It's because somebody said about it. It's like more cheerful than what's actually happening. Eating insects for fun and profit. Yeah, I've seen a lot of foxes this week. I'll tell you that. I didn't get any of them on tape or video, but I've seen foxes almost every day when I've gone out. I'm one of the few people that is allowed to go out because I'm a key worker. So in the morning, early morning, there's not many people about, but there are foxes. The foxes come really close to you. I was standing with an open door and open windows. Everything was open and getting ready, and this fox going past. I was like, this really mangy fox came really up to the door. It was limped about, and it had one leg. It looked like zombie apocalypse, probably was zombie apocalypse fox. And then it ran away, but they don't care anymore. They're just coming up to you. It's like, hello, I'm going to eat your face. That's what the foxes are saying. They don't generally do that. I like foxes. Foxes are nice. But foxes are very nice. But they are looking a bit ill at the moment, so I do worry about the foxes, and they are all everywhere. And I mean, I can go I've seen them sometimes late at night when you're out, or like in the garden. Like there's one that comes in the garden that's a right mess. But like this week, every single day, I'm like, why are there so many foxes? But there are, because there's no people, so the foxes come out to play. Play. And you can hear them and you can see them. And you're like, foxes everywhere. Oh, and apparently it's going to snow this week. Is it going to snow this week? Probably not. Not in London. It never snows. The last time it snowed was 2010. And I'm working with somebody who said, oh, when I was young, it used to snow all the time. And I was like, are you talking about 2010 when you were a very small child? Because they're very young. They're a very young person who's like, when I was a tiny child in 2010. And I'm like, that's just moments ago. That's hardly any time ago. I've driven somebody else away. Only 3 people talking about snow and insects and rubbish and foxes. Yeah, so this week has been interesting. There's been ups and downs. Mainly downs, but we're up. So I had an argument with my dad on Messenger. Well, we were arguing about countries. It's like, if somebody's from a country that was at one point one country and now it's a different country, and when they were born it was this particular country, but maybe 50 years ago it was a different country, then they're from the country that they were born in that is still that country. And if it's changed now, I don't know, it's quite difficult, because if the country's changed, the country's not the same country that they were born in, are they from that country if it's a different country? It's complicated, isn't it? Yeah. So we had this, he was like, this person's from this country because that's what it was when I was a child. It's like, but that's not where they were born. They were born in it when it was this country. He's like, no, I'm right. I'm always right. And I'm like, yeah, but no, you wouldn't say like that somebody that's born in, say, West Germany is from the Prussian Empire because once upon a time that's what we got into. A lot of people got into trouble for like insisting that this is where it is because that's what it used to be. And he was like, a fair point, but I still think I'm right. I'm like, it's not a fair point though. If it's well, borders are fake fiction anyway. But if you're born somewhere, and that's what it is when you're born, then presumably, and you say that's where you're from, then you're happy to be from that place now. That's my place, that's where I'm from. It's like, yeah, it's like Wales, apparently. You look on the borders, the maps, in like the year 300 BC, no, 300 AD, 300 CE, AD, 300, the year 300 anyway. Wales extended all the way across northern England, where northern England is now, and part of Cornwall, and really as far as London, and almost as far as Scotland, and that was Wales. But that's not Wales now. Like if you're from Newcastle, you don't say I'm from Wales, because 1,500 years ago, 1,500 years ago, this was Wales, therefore I'm Welsh. You don't, do you? If you're from Newcastle, because it's not anymore. Even though I think that the Newcastle accent, is it Newcastle? Where does Sean Bean come from? He's from somewhere, but he did a fake. Yeah, he's not from Newcastle, I don't think. But I think there was something that he did in Newcastle accent. I thought he's from Wales because it sounded like he was doing a Welsh accent, but he's actually from Yorkshire or something, or possibly not. But he was in something. Sheffield. Yeah, he's from Sheffield, that's it, right. So Sean Bean is from Sheffield, but he was in something like a Catherine Cookson thing where he was doing this Newcastle accent. So I was absolutely convinced that that was his accent and that he was from Wales. And it's like, he's not from Wales. So that might just have been Sean Bean not very good at doing an accent. But I have heard other people from like Newcastle area, and they sound Welsh to me. So maybe they are still Welsh, but that's sort of proving my dad's point. It's not, though. It's not. It's like, whatever country you're from is the country that you say that you're from, even if that's not the country you're from. Yeah. Actually, it's a stupid thing to argue about, isn't it? It's like, oh, whatever. It's like, I don't know anymore. Things change, but they always remain the same. Benjamin. Animal Farm. Well, that's another thing. I was teaching somebody. One of my students is doing 1984 now, so I was like, oh, I remember 1984. So I haven't read it for a while, but I'm like, this and that and never, and Winston Smith, and thought crime and face crime, and I'm going through all of this stuff, and I'm getting really into it. I'm like, I can't remember it. Julia, Winston Smith, rats, all the stuff like. Key points. Oh, we've always been at war with East Asia. We've never been at war with East Asia. We've always been at war with Eurasia. La la la. Anyway, from what I can remember, it's a while since I read it. Anyway, the point is, as soon as that, I was like, oh, I've got some Amazon vouchers. That's like, I'll go and get something on Amazon. So I signed into Amazon about 5 minutes after I stopped this thing with the student. And it said things that you might like. 1984. And I'm like, no, I don't like that, Amazon. Big Brother watching me. I do not like that you know that in a completely different thing, supposedly a private, far away from the rest of the internet site, you know that I've been talking about 1984. You might like 1984. No. Because I was having a discussion about what is and isn't like 1984. That's come up this week, hasn't it? A lot of people are like, oh, it's like 1984. But I think they've misunderstood it, because the things that people are saying are like 1984 are the things that are not like 1984. And the things that are like 1984 are the things that they're not admitting are like 1984. I mean, there are things about today's society that are a little bit like 1984. Like Wonder Woman. 1984? That's like... But also, because 1984 was a while ago, the person that I'm doing this with was like, is it real? Is this really what 1984 was like? It's like, no. It's like Wonder Woman is not also like 1984. So I was like pained to be like, that's not what it was like in 1984. 1984 was like all leg warmers, and was Dealey Boppers then? I think Dealey Boppers was a bit earlier. And Wham! What was in 94? And the film 1984 was in 1984 with the Eurythmics doing the soundtrack. So 1984 was like 1984 in that the film 1984, one of the versions of it, was filmed and shown in 1984. In that way, that 1984 was very like 1984. and it was like itself. 1984 was self-evidently 1984, but it's now like 1984. Now that I've said 1984 times, it's going to definitely pop up on all of my social media going, you might like this. Yes. I don't know whether I do. Anyway, I'm going on a bit about the same thing. My hair's drying though. It's getting a little bit less flat on the top. It was looking very straight at the beginning, but now it's loosened. It's looking a little bit less stupid. Oh, my clippy thing. But I usually wear my hair up. But because the clip thing broke, my hair was... Everyone was like, you've got long hair. I didn't know you've got long hair. I'm like, yes. Everyone's like, nice haircut. It's like, no haircut, obviously. Are you being sarcastic? It's like, yes, this is my hair. I don't wear wigs. I do wear wigs, but this one is my hair. My hair. I haven't worn a wig for a while, have I? I've still got my big box of wigs. But I've been waylaid with life. Thank you. Thank you for my like. Thumbs up to you, person that thumbed me up. That sounds wrong. Yeah. So things that I recommend this week in terms of media. I watched something called Stage Mother, which was very anodyne. It's got Jackie. I can't remember her name. There's Jackie B is a drag queen, but there's also Jackie, a blonde, southerny type person in it. I think she might actually be Canadian in real life. I might be wrong. But it's about this mother that starts to run a drag bar because her son died. That's quite good. Hello, Super Palmer. How do you? I'm just recommending things. That's all right. That's on Netflix. It's all right. I suppose it passes the time. I've been watching episodes of Blackish, which is very funny. I hadn't really seen it until like 2 weeks ago. It's like, but I've run out of things to see, and it's not been shown on British TV, but you can get episodes on Amazon. I have to pay for it, obviously, but yeah, I think they're worth it. It's cool. It's funny. That's what I like. It's funny and staged, obviously, and Louder Milk, which is going to come on to I think the third series is coming on Amazon, but the first two are already there. Recommend that. Is the third one on yet? I don't know, I haven't got to it yet. Anyway, that's worth seeing. And what else have I seen this week? Can't remember. Oh, RuPaul's Drag Race. Of course, RuPaul's Drag Race. How could I forget? Yeah, so that's what I recommend this week. Fun things to watch. Or not. That's the case, maybe. Yeah. So that's probably, I'm going to watch probably another episode of Louder Milk or Blackish or Staged after this, because they're all over the place. There's not much to see. But we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. And I also saw, big deal, I saw on my online shopping that there was a special offer on vegan baconaise. Like mayonnaise, only with, and I was like, whoa! So I was like, add that! And I added it to my online shopping, and I checked out, it's like, out of stock, and I'm like, and I've looked everywhere, and it's nowhere else. It's only on this one shop. So I think they must be like experimenting to see whether people will buy it. And clearly they have bought it, and now there's none left. And I'm very sad because I'm not going to try it. And I'm like, but I want to try vegan baconaise. Please let me have it. I'm never going to have it. It's always going to be out of stock, because that's going to be, I would imagine, a very popular thing that they're not going to have enough of, and they're going to have to make more. But by the time they make more, it's going to go way up in price. It's like, well, they want it. It's going to be £200 an ounce. And I'm going to be like, no. And they won't have it in ounces anymore because of the because we're going to have imperial measurements again. Instead of kilograms, it'll be in ounces, won't it? And well, everything will be by the ounce. That's something I found out, that the American ounce and the British ounce aren't the same, which is a bit confusing. And I think there's other things. There's other measurements that aren't the same in America as they are in Britain. That imperial measurement and American measurement aren't the same. So, yeah. Richmond's Super Palmer. Richmond's sausages have got wheat in them. I have got some vegan sausage. I've got some Linda McCartney ones. I think they're vegan, yeah. Well, some of those were out of stock. And I've got some, I got some Lincoln sausages. Two different sorts of Lincoln sausages. Yeah. meat-free stuff. Yeah, American billion. Yes, exactly. UK and American billion are different. I think quite a few measurements are slightly different. So, yeah, did I hear something about that there was an American-British joint space thing at some point, and the Americans made part of it, and the British made part of it in order to join up. And because they hadn't used metric, they'd used their own, inches and feet or something. And because somebody had used metric and somebody had used inches and feet. Something had gone wrong, because then when they tried to put it together, they realised that they'd used different measurements and it didn't fit together, and they'd spent billions. American billions, maybe American billions, rather than, this is a famous story, rather than British billions on it. And it didn't work. And that's why everything's wrong in the world. People don't communicate properly or understand what the other, you're like, this is a different, this is it. Like this last week, I was put, because there's like online stuff, I was looking after the computer, and I said to something, aha, I'm in charge of the computer today, meaning I am using I'm in control of the computer, that I'm just using, that it's me that's going to be using that I'm going to be facilitating the use of the computer. But the other person who's, equal job title to me, heard me say I'm in charge, and in their mind, rather than I'm meaning I'm just doing this job today, this is my job today, when you're in charge, but you're no better than me. I should be in charge. I'm experienced. I am the best. And so it was like, that's not what I meant. So it's like, no, I've offended somebody by telling them that I'm better than them, and that's not what I meant. So it's a lack of communication and differences in how people say things. If I've just said I'm caring for the computer, or I'm looking after the computer, maybe that would have been different. But I'm in charge of the computer, meaning, yes, this is my job today. No, I'm not letting you be the boss of me. It's like, I'm not the boss of you. I'm not saying I'm the boss of you. That was not my intention. So you have to be very, very careful. Like, again, another example I always use, in Babylon 5, that's what set off that war that ruined everything. Yeah, because misunderstandings. I haven't seen Babylon 5 for years. I can't actually remember, but I know that made a big impact on me. That one group of people said, alien people, they're all people, we're all people. One group of civilization said something, did something, and completely was misinterpreted by the other group, and set off a whole chain of events and everything. And then it's like, this isn't what I meant, this is what I meant. It's like, did you? Oh no, that was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? Because we all got called to one side. It's like, this, we should be working as a team. It should be all good. Nobody's in charge. I'm like, I didn't mean I was in charge. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. And now I'm just like, oh no. Anyway, it will be all better. Everything will work itself out. Yes. It will. Okay, and I will get my step counts in, because I still have to walk to work. And 1,495 steps I've done. Just here. Not accurate. Anyway, I'll be going now. I'll see you next week. Maybe I'll try. I've still got loads of video from last summer that I have not edited yet. But watch the ones that I have seen. The Bellevue Park one, and also my Garden Safari one. I'm very proud of. And also some of the funny things as well. Watch Hubble. Was it Hubble? Okay, Spillage. I'll have to look that up. You might be right. So yeah, it was the Hubble telescope. Oh my goodness, that's a disaster, isn't it? Anyway, I'll see ya. Watch all my videos, all of them, every single one of them, and subscribe and like and love and joy and happy and everything. Yes, watch all my summer videos, Mardy. Hello. Yes, I'm just about to go. I don't know whether you just came this second, but I'm just about to go. I've already done a couple more. Yeah, thank you very much, Spillage. Thank you, everyone, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.